Mm, mm. Shalom. Okay, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders, apostles, and bishops of Great Millstone that rule well, and peace and salutations to the hopeful elect of the children of Israel, okay, that are people of Negro, Latino, Native American, and Seminole Indian descent. All right. So let me begin by saying that it's a blessing in itself just to know that there's actual women that are accepting this truth, this gospel, this ministry, the prophets for what it is. It's a blessing in itself that there's actual women that accept it, you know. But here you go. Here you go. Perfect examples of what's going on in this world. And this is a direct reflection of what's going on in their harlot houses, the whore houses. And that's what the scriptures refer to these churches as, whorehouses, because it's pretty much what they are. It's a direct example of their leadership, their spiritual leaders, which condones this behavior. And in most cases, they encourage it. Why? Because they looking to exploit it. These are old hoes, old used up, old shameless dogs, as the scriptures tell you. The scripture says this. Beautiful scripture. One of those scriptures that wowed me coming into the truth. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai opened our minds up. It's just one of those scriptures that wowed me. Because it just pretty much answered a lot of questions which was in our minds, pretty much our whole adult lives, these women and their behavior, what's going on with it, and whereas the scripture says this, Sirach 26:25, a shameless woman shall be counted as a dog, but she that is shamefaced will fear the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. And here you go, you have no, you don't have shamefaced here. You can just look around when the camera is panning around. You don't have shamefaced women, that literally should have some type of discretion. And the scripture that I'm referring to is in Titus, where these old hoes supposed to be in the mind state of an upright woman, guiding the younger women, to be shamefaced. Let me grab Titus. Again, direct reflection of the spiritual leaders that, because it's these churches that have those contracts, that have the business of burying the dead, which they profit from. It's all for profit, not in the spirit of godliness. Is, after you bury the dead, you don't have them sitting above ground for weeks at a time, But again, as Yahweh Shai said, let the dead bury the dead. So jumping into Titus 2:3, the aged woman likewise, the aged, meaning these older women who this world is full of, older women, what we refer to as old hoes, because that's basically what they are, without exaggeration, old hoes, and they won't identify themselves as an old hoe because they're not walking the street like those street walkers. They're selling themselves to make it, But as far as the scriptures is concerned, Yahweh Shai said those whores is going to make it to the kingdom of heaven before these old hoes. They don't consider themselves hoes, they're not walking the streets selling the pussy openly, but here they are as they've been ran through by and I'm being for real, real talk. They done been ran through by they can't even count how many men. They do guesstimate, and a lot of them are in the hundreds. And I was confronted by a woman named Mildred. She was at 5,000. She said she estimated, I guess, was 5,000 men. 5,000 men. I was like in awe, like there was no shame coming out of her mouth. She was. I guess that was her way of hitting on me. Not a bad looking woman, older woman. You can tell she had a few years on me, and I'm older myself. But she wasn't bad looking. But at the same time, no. I had to dismiss that one. Those brothers actually there witnessing it, and actually heard it. you know, you know. But reading Titus 2 and 3, the aged woman likewise, that they be in behavior as becoming holiness. And there's no, come on, there's this behavior period. This is that between you and your man behavior that should be in your bedroom, but it's the aged woman likewise, that they be in behavior as becoming holiness, not false accusers, not giving to much wine, teachers of good things. And they teach that this is, come on, we can do what we want. This is what's the thing that this demon pushed out, that it's the modern world we're living in is a feminine world. Well, she's correct, but at the same time she's going off. This woman that was had a demon, she was consumed by a demon, and she was in a major demonic rant, man, and she said the future of this world is feminine, which the future of this world is on its way out. Like the scripture says, the fashion of this world passes the way. But again, teachers of good things, and posting these videos, and you know what the thing is, you see 1, 2, or 3 of them or openly doing this, and imagine how that influences other women to do the same, as if it's cute, man. This is not a good thing. This is not a good thing. Verse 4 says that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children, which is the opposite is taught, to be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to their own husbands, that the word of the Most High be not blasphemy. All right? And examining those words, to be discreet. Hold on, let me tap on this. I'm reading this from my phone. Okay. Being discreet is meaning of a sound mind, sane in one's senses. And you can clearly see this whole whorehouse isn't in its sense, man. None of them. Let me continue on. Curbing one's desires and impulses, self-control, temperate. And this is black culture. Gone the hell off. This is an example of black culture, man. So the examples we have as holiness is ungodly individuals, because it's in this world, good is bad and bad is good. This present world, good is bad and bad is good. So it's been encouraged more and more and more. So again, discreet. Let's look up the next word. Chaste. It's like I lost it here. Hold on. Here we go. Sacred. Modest. pure from every fault, clean. And they're lacking all these. Keepers at home, which they're never home. They'll tell you, I'm a homebody. They're only a homebody when they're low on funds, or, when it's, just whenever that desire to be home hits them. If it hits them. Or, and it's another word, and it says good. Good. Good meaning of good constitution or nature. Useful. Solitary. Good. Pleasant. Agreeable. Joyful. Happy. Excellent. Upright and honorable. And look at these simple, when it scans around, you see simple-minded niggas amongst these fools, not shaking their head in disgust, but it's enjoyed. Look at that fool over there. Look at that. Look at the men. Look at the men. They find no problem with that. But something's wrong with us, huh? But something's wrong with us, huh? And the scriptures tell you that wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. It's nothing. To these women, and actually to these 2/3, nothing is sacred anyway. Not that a funeral is sacred. It's not. Just bury the dead, man. Just bury the dead. And the scriptures tell you about they don't, neither do they blush. Let me see if I can find that scripture. It was in Jeremiah. They don't even blush, man. They don't even blush. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it. I think it was Jeremiah 16. Jeremiah 6. Jeremiah 8. Were they ashamed when they had committed abominations? Nay, they were not at all ashamed. Neither could they blush. Therefore shall they fall among them that fall. In the time of their visitation they shall be cast down, said the Lord. And let's hear what that word blush hits, what it means. Blush. You blush at something, man. You to insult, shame, humiliate, blush, be ashamed. Be ashamed. To be humiliated, be ashamed. To be put to shame, be dishonored, be confounded. Nope. Not amongst the women of our nation. I can't even say our women, but not of the women of our nation. Because they're on their own. They're on their own, and as the scripture says, a woman shall surpass a man. Totally disregard warnings, totally disregard instruction. Just totally disannulled order, man. So she's pretty much on her own. She's doing what she wants. Big nasty asses. Every photo you see them post, it's always They got to show that, that ass. It just shows you where their mind is. This is all coming to an end. All this wickedness, all this foul behavior, it's all coming to an end. As a matter of fact, the scripture says this. Let me see if I can find it real quick. First Corinthians 7:31. And they that use this world as abusing it, for the fashion of this world passeth away. Being out of order, disorderly, being unrighteous, ungodly. It's on its way out. So it's going to be in the open. We're going to see more and more of these things coming to pass. You're going to see more and more of these things coming to the open, to be judged. That's why it has to be seen to be judged. Let me start up a little. 1 Corinthians 7:29. But this I say, brethren, the time is short. It remaineth that both they that have wives be as though they had none, and they that weep as though they wept not, and they that rejoice as though they rejoice not, and they that buy as though they possess not, and they that use this world as not abusing it, and using it as not abusing it. Don't mean because the church will tell you, the law, we're under grace, and they push that ideal that you do what you want as long as you make you happy, and the Lord loves you anyway. No, that's incorrect. That's incorrect. That don't mean you go out and abuse yourselves by your diet, and, spirituality, physically, period. You don't go out and abuse yourselves by doing anything and everything as long as it makes you happy. No, you're in error. That's words that are in error, teaching those people. Let me see if I have something here. 1 Corinthians 7:31. No, I don't. Another precept here. And again, like I said, like the scripture says, let me see if I can spell it correctly. That was Jeremiah 31:22. I quoted, how long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? There you go. How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For the Lord hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man. Let's see what the NLT gives us here. How long will you wonder, my wayward daughter? For the Lord will cause something new to happen. Israel will embrace her power. Hold on, let me get another one. Because see, on the most part, Israel isn't embracing our power at all. Okay. And that word compass. turn back, turn about or around or aside or back or towards, go about or around, surround and circle, change direction, to turn, turn about, to march or walk around, go partly around, circle about. Let me look for the word that I want. Uh, mm, mm, mm. I'm trying to pull it up, but I'm going to have to do it this way. Okay. So the word backsliding doesn't really give you nothing here either. Let me look it up on Oxford. The action of relapsing into bad ways or error. Oh, backsliding daughter. The action of relapsing into bad ways or error. Now you can get a woman, man, and she be all into you and love you, and but eventually that demon, that backsliding wicked spirit hits her, man, and she wakes up. You know, that backsliding demon, enters her mind. The action of relapsing, going right back to where she, you know, that street mentality. She's for the streets. The action of relapsing into bad ways or error. Backsliding daughter. You can't tell them nothing. You know, you can't tell them nothing. I know I'm carrying on with this, but I can't help it. Let's do this. And I think it's Shrug 25. Okay. It's a lot of reading here. Ecclesiastes 25 and 17. The wickedness of a woman changeth her face, and darkeneth her countenance like sackcloth. And does not the scripture say in Isaiah 3, burning instead of beauty? They're constantly angry, mad. Mad, they should be mad at their damn selves. Her husband shall sit among the neighbors. When he heareth it, shall sign bitterly. All wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. As the climbing up a sandy way is to the feet of the aged, so is a wife full of words to a quiet man. Stumble not at the beauty of a woman, and desire not her not for pleasure. A woman, is, if she maintain her husband, is full of anger, impudence, and much reproach. A wicked woman abateth the courage, maketh as heavy countenance, and a wounded heart. A woman that will not comfort her husband in distress maketh weak hands and feeble knees. Of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. And you can see that if this was to continue on, which this is the end of this man. This man is on his way out, man. That's because that's the head of the snake, this the self-proclaimed white man. He has the power, and he has the power, and this woman is totally abusing the liberty that this devil is giving her. So eventually, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, that divine influence is about to cut the head off the snake. And these strong, independent, shameless dogs is going to be defenseless, man. Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to remove that hedge. That's where this is all headed. Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to remove the hedge. That's and you see it coming. You see it happening. I know I don't carry this video carry on. I'm gonna have to get some. I pull up some precepts here on this tablet. Hold on, give me a second here. I think it's Job. I think it's Job that I'm thinking about. Let me see if I can find it. Let's look at Isaiah 5:5. I'm shifting gears here. Get off that damn video. Just madness, man. Just straight up madness. Now will I sing to my well-beloved a song, my beloved touching his vineyard. My well-beloved have a vineyard in a very fruitful hill, and he fenced it and gathered out of the stones thereof and planted it with the choicest vine and built a tower in the midst of it and also made a wine press therein. And he looked that it should bring forth grapes, and it brought forth wild grapes. And now, O inhabitants of Jerusalem and men of Judah, judge, I pray you, betwixt me and my vineyard. What could have been done more to my vineyard that I have not done it? Wherefore, when I looked that it should bring forth grapes, brought it forth wild grapes. And now go to, and I will tell you what I will do to my vineyard. I will take away the hedge thereof, and it shall be eaten up, and break down the wall thereof, and it shall be trodden down. And I will lay it waste, and shall not be pruned, and nor digged, but there shall come up briars and thorns. I will also command the clouds that they rain no rain upon it. For the vineyard of the Lord of hosts is the house of Israel, and the men of Judah his pleasant plant. And he looked for judgment, but behold, oppression, for righteousness, but behold, a cry. Woe is for the wicked, it says. So all that good living, pretty much what it's saying is going to be destroyed and taken away. And this is where these women, a lot of them laying their comforts at, man. You know. Let me get another one. There was one specific one that I was looking for though. It's like I can't think of it. I'll figure it out. Oh. Israel's unfaithfulness condemned. Say ye unto your brethren, Ami, and to your sisters, Ruhama, plead with your mother, plead. For she is not my wife, neither am I her husband. Let her therefore put away her whoredoms, out of her sight and her adulteries from between her breasts. Because ultimately it was the northern and the southern kingdom going to hell off, you know, committing whoredom against Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Now, that's how he's pretty much looking at our nation as whoring hoes, man. Pretty much, and didn't stay faithful with him. Now imagine that envy, that type of anger, that jealousy produces. And we're talking about the Most High here, man. Lest I strip her naked and set her as in the day that she was born, and make her as a wilderness, and set her like a dry land, and slay her with thirst. And I will not have mercy upon her children, for they be the children of whoredoms. For their mother hath played the harlot. She that conceived them have done shamefully. For she said, I will go after my lovers that give me my bread and my water, my wool and my flax, my oil and my drink. Therefore, behold, I will hedge up the way with thorns, and make a wall, that she shall not find her paths. And she shall follow after her lovers, but she shall not overtake them. And she shall seek them, but shall not find them. Then shall she say, I will go and return to my first husband, for then was it better with me than now. For she did not know that I gave her corn and wine and oil, and multiplied her silver and gold, which they prepared for Baal. Therefore will I return and take away my corn in the time thereof, and my wine in the season thereof, and I will recover my wool and my flax given to cover her nakedness. And now will I discover her lewdness in the sight of her lovers, and none shall deliver her out of my hand. I will also cause all her mirth to cease, her feast days, her new moons, and her Sabbaths, and all her solemn feasts. And what's beautiful that that hit me is that the new moon that's coming in next week is Wednesday, and to Wednesday sundown to Thursday sundown, and Thursday sundown, before sundown, in the midst of the Sabbath, they're gonna be celebrating. They're gonna be in that pagan spirit, man. They're gonna be in that pagan spirit of Thanksgiving. In the midst of their feast days. Thanksgiving is one of their feast days. This is what's coming. This is what's coming. And here, and what does it say about this as far as the Sabbath is concerned? Let me find it. Let me hit it up. There's consequences for disregarding the Sabbath. The consequences. Let's see if it's in here. It's 16 or 20. No, it might be 20. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy power. In it thou shalt not do any work, nor thou, nor thy sons, nor thy daughters, thy manservants, nor thy maidservants, nor thy cattle, nor thy strangers that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea and all that in them is, and rested the 7th day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy. That's not it either. Hold on, I'll find it. It's specific. Oh, was it further down? Nope, I already read that. Slock it. 31. You shall keep the Sabbath, therefore, for it is holy unto you. Everyone that defileth it shall surely be put to death. For whosoever doeth any work therein, that soul shall be cut off from among his people. There you go. 6 days may work be done, but in the seventh is the Sabbath of rest, holy to the Lord. Whosoever doeth any work in the Sabbath day, he shall surely be put to death. Wherefore the children of Israel shall keep the Sabbath to observe the Sabbath throughout their generations for a perpetual covenant. Video took a little turn, didn't it? just an example of and it's mainly these women that are encouraging, and that's the motive behind a lot of these that pagan spirit being pushed amongst our people. You know, it's mainly the woman that's in error, man. She's the head of the household. She broadcasts it. She brags on it. She's the head of the household. You know, she's the man. She's the woman. She's the independent one. She's the strong one. Mm. Exodus 35 and 2. And Moses gathered all the congregation of the children of Israel together and said unto them, These are the words which the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai hath commanded, that you should do them. 6 days shall work be done, but on the seventh day there shall be to you an holy day, a Sabbath of rest to the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Whosoever doeth work therein shall be put to death. Ye shall kindle no fire throughout your habitation upon the seventh day. Mm. And that just, the spirit hit me. I just noticed that, you know, the next new moon that's coming in, which is next week, the next new moon. It's like I'm making this a little long, but you know, it's all good. Let me hit this. No, actually, Isaiah 1 is what I wanted, but Isaiah 3 is on point. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, which they that lead, O my people, they which lead thee, cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy path. It's Isaiah 1 that I want. And as a matter of fact, on this tablet, I think I do have a precept to that. The fashion of this world passeth away. I can't remember it off the top of my head, though, but I know I had a precept written down for it. Referring to the referring to the fashion of this world. What was that? 1 Corinthians again. Hold on, give me a second here. Do-do-do-do-do. Let me hit that. Let me see if I have it up. Let me see if I know I do, though. 1 Corinthians 7:31. I guess I don't. to it because I know I did, but it's all good. So where am I at? The vision of Isaiah the son of Amos, which he saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem in the days of Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah, king of Judah. Hear, O heavens, and give ear, O earth, for the Lord Yahweh hath spoken. I have nourished and brought up children, and they have rebelled against me. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel doth not know, my people doth not consider. Ah, sinful nation. Ah, sinful nation. Hold on, let me see. And is in disgust. Whoa, ooh, ugh. Ugh, sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity. There you go. That's what I wanted. That word laden. That's what I wanted. Laden with the sins, which I think that's it's in the New Testament somewhere. It's a scripture, laden with sins, covered with sins, something like that, to some extent. Laden. It ain't just these women, it's these niggas too, but, 2 Timothy 3. There we go. Difficult times will come, as it says. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. While you're caught up in your wickedness. For men shall be lovers of their own selves. This include you women too, you hoes too. Covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemer, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent. Look at that, incontinent. Medical term. Without self-control. There you go. Incontinent. That's these women, man. Wait a minute, where am I at? Incontinent, fierce. Despisers of those that are good. Hold on, I should have just kept this up. Fierce. Fierce. If that's don't not tame. Savage. And these women, I need a strong man that can handle me. She's not tamed. Take that strong man when he wants to, I can't, as far as dealing with a wild horse, you tame that horse. To tame that horse, it takes a strong man. Ain't no woman gonna do it. But it takes a strong man to tame that horse, man, and then to, let me pull that. To tame a horse. What in Minecraft? What? State that's went far left. How to ride a horse. What the hell? What is Minecraft? Oh, I didn't even see that come up. How it happened? Taming a horse. You watch those videos, and that horse is wild, man. And I don't know about that without force. But it's pretty much what they are, not tame. of an animal, not dangerous or frightened of people. Domesticated. That's tamed. But the scripture says not tamed. I should have just hit it all up. Not tamed. See how the spirit went right back on the focus on these women? Not tamed means something is wild, unruly, or not controlled. This is what we're dealing with. This is what we're dealing with. Why else are you're instructed to leave these bitches alone, man? And go look, if you're gonna deal with a woman, go deal with of other nations. And lead captive silly women laden with sins. Just incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are. That was that word, this fierce. Again, what was it? Not tamed? Was that where it was? Not tamed. Not tamed. Fierce. Despisers of those that are good. Traitors. Traitors. We're seeing a lot of this. A betrayal. But he cheated on me. These bug outs, man. These women which are in a child's which has a child's mentality, in the sense of giving forward into the enemy's hands, a surrender, betrayal. We're seeing a lot of that spirit. Traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasure more than lovers of the Most High, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. From such turn away. And they can get these simple niggas, man. I'm in church. I found Jesus, and I love a godly man. I'm looking for a godly man. It's funny. And that's far from the truth. She's looking for an ungodly man. Also, a man that's following Yahweh Shem Yahushai, as a matter of fact, a man that fears Yahweh Shem Yahushai, that's far from what she wants, man. So after she's popping from one man to another, where whatever that man she's with, man, she's gonna fall up under whatever he believes, in most cases. So this nigga believe in Buddha. This nigga believe Buddha and Allah and had a child. She'll worship that shit, man. Especially if a nigga, these motherfuckers, more as days go on, especially in these last days, man, they're just coming up with all kinds of madness. And I'm being funny, but I won't even doubt they done come up with that ideal that Buddha and Allah had a child, man. For real. And whatever abomination they done conceived. Shit. And that's what these niggas been doing a lot of. Having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. From such turn away. For of this sort are they which creep into houses and lead captive silly women laden with sins, led away with diverse lusts, ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. Silly women, man. That's all they are. Silly women. Used contemptuously. Foolish. They're all foolish. But they'll hide behind, I went to college, I got a college degree and can't do shit to save their own life. We the most educated, yeah, you're the most indoctrinated. I'm about to close. So there you go. There's there's answers for which we give you. There's answers for why this woman is the way she is. You know, her and the serpent, which is the so-called white man. You know, that serpent that she um, was in agreement with in Genesis. That spirit is the same spirit of the so-called white man, self-proclaimed white man. You know, you got to have understanding of why we in this position and where we've been and where we're going. Especially like we got to have understanding of what's about to happen. You know, the enemy is arising. Our enemy is surfacing. Our enemy is with pride and arrogancy is surfacing out in the open. And this is exactly what Yahweh Shem Yahushai wants. He wants our enemy to lift themselves up. You know, to lift themselves up in rebellion. There's another word I'm missing. You know, they're lifting themselves up, you know, in all works contrary to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. They're lifting themselves up. Wickedness. Our enemies before he destroys them. Pride cometh before destruction. Is that what the scripture says? Because this is pride. Proverbs. So Proverbs. Come on. I'm closing in a second. I'm only going on with this as long as I'm going. Because this is my spirit. I'm, you know, feeding. Proverbs 11:2. When pride cometh, then cometh shame. But with the lowly is wisdom. Here you go. Proverbs 16:8. Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. So this is the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, that that haughty spirit, that pride is being lifted up. We just gotta deal with it, man. You know, keep doing what we're doing. Don't let it get advantage of your mind. You know, stay in your lane, man. Stay in the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Because it does. This does make you angry. It does sickens you. You know? It vexes you. But, you know, we have the prophecies to look forward to. All right? So, I hope we were edified. And let's give all praise, honor, and glory to our power, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Till next time, Lord willing. Shalom.